Hey everyone, welcome to the Eagle Eye Podcast brought to you by Nissan. I'm Dave Zangaro. Reuben Frank is not with us today. He's out in Canton, Ohio for Eric Allen's enshrinement in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So looking forward to hearing a bunch of fun stories from the Hall of Fame. Today, Ashlyn Sullivan joins us. Ashlyn, thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely. Always happy to fill in for Rube. It's a tough assignment, though.
It is. I'm excited to hear about his trip out to Canton. It's got to be cool covering a player like Eric Allen, who has to wait all this time to get into the Hall of Fame, and now he's finally there. It's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I did that trip once with the Jaguars. The Jaguars played in the Hall of Fame game, and we were there 3 days. I got to say, anyone that's listening from Canton, Ohio, no disrespect, but my goodness, there is nothing there to do.
Did you get to go to the Hall of Fame?
I did. It was very cool. That is there, and that is
not
it.
much else.
There is no restaurants. There's nothing.
I've never actually been to the Hall of Fame.
It's very cool. You should go. It's worth going.
I should go. It's next time we're in Cleveland, I will rent a car and head down there and check it out.
Worth the trip, but just a heads up, you'll do
Quick
that
trip.
And then you'll leave.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. We have a lot to get to today. The Eagles had day 6 of training camp, so we have a bunch of observations from camp. We want to talk about a bunch of training camp battles now that we're pretty far into this, 6 days in. A big enough body of work to start handicapping some of these training camp battles. But first things first, they were in shorts and shells today. I would assume it was a yellow day, they call it, so kind of a ramp up day. I'd assume Friday full pads again.
Yes, I agree. And I think today, at least to me, just observing, today it felt like the first dog days of training camp. You still got a preseason game a week away. It's like rinse, wash, repeat. Today I felt all right, they're getting a little tired of this a bit.
A little bit. And it was hot today.
As
much as Vic doesn't want to talk about the heat, it was hot. I mean, by the end of practice, it was 90 degrees, real feel over 100. So we talked to Dallas Goedert after practice, and he was like, man, can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be in the 70s.
Yeah, I think Dallas Goedert, you could tell. It was a long day. It was a tough day. The offense looked a little bit out of sync. I think a frustrating day a bit for the offense with the pre-snap penalties. So today was the first day I was like, all right, let's keep this moving.
Yeah, it was. You know what's funny about that? I kind of expected some chippiness today.
Agreed.
And there really wasn't.
Everyone's getting along too
much.
It's
a weird day where it's really hot. You're right. It's starting to get a little monotonous. That's normally where some tempers start to flare, but it didn't happen today.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about it later in the podcast. But the one hint I got of that, at least, was the other day, Dallas Goedert, Jihaad Campbell came up from behind and tackled him to the ground. He wasn't looking. And I think that very much could have been a veteran versus a rookie, hey, welcome to the NFL moment. Dallas didn't retaliate, but he did talk about it today, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it's, we'll get to Jihaad Campbell, but I don't know if that's a heat or I think that's just his edge. And yeah, we'll get to that because it is, to me, one of the more interesting developments of training camp. But let's start with the injury report today. No Zach Bond has that back contusion. He missed his second straight day. Devontae Smith still out with back tightness, but he was actually on the field today. He came out for some stretching, so maybe heading in the right direction. No Andrew Makuba with the shoulder. Nolan Smith concussion. Terrace Marshall knee injury. He got hurt recently, so he's going to miss some time. And EJ Jenkins hamstring. The limited participants: Jihaad Campbell, Jalen Carter, AJ Dillon, an addition there with the back injury, and Cam Jurgens. They list Jihaad Campbell as limited still. He hasn't been limited.
He hasn't been the slightest thing from limited.
It's very weird. Today, we'll get to it, even played 2 positions. And
if that's limited, I can't wait to see what full practice is like.
It's insane to me. Yeah. So, and then the one injury during practice today, Ben Van Sumeren had to leave early, so we'll monitor that one. They don't have another fullback on the roster, so if they want to use a fullback, he's the guy. And it was another Jihaad Campbell being involved in a an aggressive play. So something to watch there. Depth chart stuff today. Tyler Steen's still the right guard. His job until it isn't, I guess, at this point. It's
not even a story anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. They changed up the second team offensive line a little bit. Just got some new faces in there. Kenyon Green got his first reps with the second team. So maybe him starting to push for a roster spot a little bit. Adoree Jackson, first team reps again. Seems like he's getting more of those than Keely Ringo. Jihaad Campbell and Jeremiah Trotter Jr., the top linebacker duo. What I think the most interesting development from today in terms of depth chart stuff, Jihaad Campbell got to rush as an edge rusher today.
And it was awesome to watch. Second team, and it was like Dave and I were talking about it at practice. It's a beautiful problem to have here with the depth of these linebackers, but I can't help but think Jihaad Campbell was playing so well, middle linebacker. We think he's most likely going to get paired with Zach Bond, but what happens when Nakobe Dean comes back? What happens when Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is really pushing him and playing well? It's like all of a sudden the Eagles have too many linebackers, which never has happened ever. And now they have this massive, great problem to have on the field.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to think about, but the Eagles have more depth, or at least they will when the guys are healthy. They have more depth at linebacker than they do at edge rusher.
Big time.
Where, you have Nolan Smith, who right now is missing time, so maybe that plays a role. It's a nice natural way to get other guys reps. But you have Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt. We kind of know that those are the starters, but I think Josh Uche has performed well. Azeez Ojulari has been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
You have, the rookie Antoine Powell-Ryland's been having a pretty quiet first training camp, haven't written down his number very much. I think there might be some opportunity for Campbell to rush a little bit.
Yeah. And I think with that, like maybe their hand will be forced a little bit, because you are seeing when one position goes down, when a Nolan Smith goes down, all of a sudden it feels like a group that doesn't have enough. When they're hitting and it's Nolan and Jalix, it's like, all right, you feel good about this. If one of them goes down, it's almost like I think the Eagles are going to have to force this hammer. They're going to have to bump Jihaad on the outside, because they have this surplus now of linebackers where I would feel more confident. You bump Jihaad outside. I would feel better about then putting Trotter Jr. in at linebacker. And I think just overall that serves your defense better if a pass rusher goes down.
Yeah. Now we, of course, have to see like Jihaad actually do it at the NFL level. He did it a little bit in college and did it fairly well, but I think he's pretty raw when it comes to being an edge rusher. And he's not majoring in that right now.
He's gotten very few reps.
Very few reps.
Yeah.
He's gotten he's mostly been working just as an inside linebacker. And then after practice, he'll get some time with Jeremiah Washburn. I'm assuming he's, trying to hone those things in his free time, but for a guy who is going to have to just win on the edge when he gets there with athleticism, you'd like to see him be able to develop as a pass rusher a little bit more. I don't know if he's going to have the time on task to really get that done right now.
Where I don't think he will have the toolbox of moves that we always hear pass rushers talk about. I am so confident just from watching him on the field and just watching his body type that I think he can do it. Like, I think he would win battles in that situation just because of his pure athleticism and his size. Like, we always joke, you could tell me realistically he plays 4 positions and I would believe you. Like, if you told me tomorrow he's practicing tight end, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll watch that. Like, he'll win some battles, he'll win some reps.
Yeah, if Jordan Mailata can compare Jalix Hunt to Micah Parsons, we can do it a little bit too with Jihaad Campbell.
Big Fangio's going to love this.
Yeah, I know. Look, it's not like comparing them as players, but having the ability to play both of those positions, which we saw Micah obviously early in his career. They were kind of trying to figure out where exactly he fit best. I'm not saying Jihaad Campbell is going to become Micah Parsons on the edge, but like having the ability as a defensive coordinator to be able to see where he fits. It's kind of like the versatility all over. It's kind of like the same thing with Cooper Jean, right? Where you're going to play him in the base package depending on the strength or weaknesses at other positions. It might be the same with Jihaad Campbell. Like, I don't think he's going to be a full-time edge rusher, but if we're talking about this and we say, yeah, the linebacker depth is much better than the edge depth, I think there's probably situations where maybe you get him on the field and you like have 3 linebacker look, and then you walk them up to the line.
We've seen that a little bit.
Yeah, you can do that with Zach Bond too. So it gives them a lot of optionality.
Yeah, and I think we hear this all the time. And truthfully, I always thought it was an overused statement that you tailor the way you play to your personnel and you tailor it to your players. And every time a coach says it, I'm like, yeah, right. Like, you guys know what you're running and it doesn't matter what you have. But I think the Eagles, more than any other team I've been around, will do that. And they're going to find a way to always keep Cooper on the field. It doesn't matter. And they're always, what it seems like, going to find a way to keep, and they should, their first round pick on the field. That's not, I'm not breaking any news here, but he needs to be playing snaps right now.
Yeah. And I think it's especially true when you say like teams that tailor to their personnel. I mean, Vic, we saw last year for a full season, like he was running a lot of different stuff as the year went on, and he had some stuff left over for the Super Bowl that the Chiefs weren't expecting. So that's the fun of a coordinator like Fangio. And then you think in year 2 with at least some of the same players carrying over that it's going to keep getting better and better.
Yeah, and I think more than anyone, Vic is so easy to read. Like we know clear as day who he likes, we know clear as day who he doesn't like, and it doesn't really seem to change. So if Vic likes you and trusts you, he's going to find a way to keep you on the field. Like that more than any other coordinator I've been around is clear as day.
Yeah. Since we're already talking about Jihaad Campbell, let's jump ahead and talk about his aggression because you're right. I mean, there was that play on Dallas Goedert a few days ago. They all run together. You could tell me it was day 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. It was a day at some point. He knocked Dallas Goedert
Tuesday.
He knocked Dallas Goedert to the ground. Mm-hmm. There was also a play where he's punching the football out from Tanner McKee, which, that doesn't happen. No one does that. That quarterback is in a red jersey for a reason.
Yeah, you go. I see a lot of this.
Yeah,
like you get him. Like,
get away from that man.
Sack, pretend sack.
And then today he kind of just manhandled Ben Van Sumeren, who got hurt on the play. There was another
manhandle's a good way to put it.
Yeah, he's just, and in some respects he kind of reminds me of Jalen Carter, just like playing with an edge. Mm-hmm. Sometimes like a little, it looks like he's ornery, like he's just having a bad day and he's taking it out on the world. But I think that's
Hassan too a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I see that. It's just it's
like it's going to be a rough day.
I think it's a good thing.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
and now fans are going to love this.
There might need to be a little conversation. Nick Sirianni might have to say, "Hey, try to take care of your teammates."
Like right now, but when it's week 1 against the Cowboys, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen that with Jalen Carter, right? Like I think back to that Saints game last year, him like going nuts and having to be restrained. Mm-hmm. That was kind of always the book on Jalen, was like when he gets to be aggressive, when someone pisses him off, that's where he can take over a game. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the trip switch is for Campbell yet. I don't know if there is a switch. Maybe he just plays like this, but it's been fun to watch.
It's been awesome to watch. And if this is just the player he is, then we can predict the conversations for 3 years now. It's going to be, if you're doing it without taking penalties, then this is the best thing ever. And this is such an edge for the Eagles. If you're a little bit like CJ Gardner-Johnson, where you let it get over the top too much, all right, then we have the conversations of toning it down. But that was one of the great things I thought about CJ, was he brought that edge that was so needed. So this is what the Eagles need more of. It's all about honing it. And I think right now he's way too young to know what that can look like right now.
I'm glad you brought up CJ, though, because we've talked about who's going to bring that edge to the defense. Here's another guy who can do that.
Oh my gosh,
and Campbell's going to be on the field.
And the fact that we're noticing that a week in the training camp, and we haven't even seen real game action. What's this guy going to do in a preseason game? I can't wait.
Yeah. It's funny to think about, because you're like, there are certain days you go into a training camp practice and you're like, I want to keep an eye on this position or this player today. And I think some of it might be because he's a first-round pick and I'm naturally curious about Jihaad Campbell. But through 6 days of camp, I think my eyes would have naturally really started to gravitate toward 30 no matter what.
I agree.
He's just a unique player.
Just what if the fans out there that watch that's, may not know the whole team. He just is a guy, his presence and just what he looks like on the field. When they stand up on the defensive line or he's with the linebackers, he is a presence. And especially I just think his athletic ability and the attention he's getting, I think they found a good draft pick here, to say the least.
Yeah, at least very excited and encouraging start for Campbell, especially for a guy who we didn't even know he's not even supposed to be practicing yet.
Right.
Vic said August. We've already. I feel like I lead my observations every day with Jihaad Campbell. It's July 31st. And we didn't even expect him on the field yet. So he's ahead of schedule.
Is he even 100% right now? He is limited in practice reports. So what is full? Is he fully healthy right now? Next time we talk to him, I'd be so curious to know where his rehab even is, because it doesn't look like he has any limitations right now.
Yeah, I'm not buying the limited.
Limited. Yeah.
We talked a bunch about Jalen Carter. We should mention today was his first day back in 11-on-11 drills, and they're kind of bringing him along slowly. He had that shoulder injury, but it's a different team when he's out there.
Well, and Jalen Hurts the other day was talking about Howie and the talent of drafting from the SEC, and we're standing there watching 11-on-11. I look ahead of me, I see Jihaad Campbell at linebacker, then I look ahead, and then there's Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. I'm like, man, if these guys can stay healthy, and if this is what this defense looks like, oh my gosh, is this going to be fun? Just watching the two of them alone on the field, Jalen Carter and Jihaad Campbell together, it gets you excited.
Yeah. And it's funny, I was thinking about Tyler Steen today, who's had, some rough reps against Moro Ojima.
Yes. who's had a great camp.
Yeah, had a great camp. And now here comes Jalen Carter. He's probably like, oh, man.
It's the worst day ever.
Yeah, this isn't great. Yeah, so that was that. Any other depth chart stuff I have? This is really into the minutia of it all, but punt returners today, Avery Williams got a chance to return some punts. Really the first time we've seen that. I asked Michael Clay about it because I was wondering, like, why is this guy he brought in as a returner not returning punts? And he basically said, we know he's good at that. We wanted to see him do some other stuff.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Nice stamp of approval there.
Yeah, they wanted to see him work as a personal protector, but also get the younger guys some punt return reps. But Avery Williams was the first guy up a punt return today.
Very nice. Duties as assigned.
Yeah, he's, it would be fun to have a guy who's just like a return guy if he's the punt returner and kick returner. And I think that's possible.
I have a side note for you. I'm going to take this. Does this always
What
here?
is that?
It's a gritty duck, and I'm going to bring it to my desk. Don't
Yeah, I
tell
wonder
Rube
who
if
had
it's
that.
his. Moving
That's
on.
fun. So Rube knows this, but I always need to have something in my hands while we do a podcast. So today I have an Allen wrench that was sitting here. And it's been like a running bit on the pod. Rube used to always have a pen, but he would click it. And it would drive me nuts. And I'd always make him
yelled at for that on TV.
Mhm.
Myself and Heartsy and Owl, we click pens, or I point with pens sometimes and I hit them in the face with it because we're too close.
It's not great.
It's a distraction.
Yeah. So I used to make Rube like hand it over like a grade school
toddler.
teacher. Yeah. Give me the pen. All right.
Off the rails.
Yeah. Late in practice, Jalen Hurts throws his second interception of training camp. Nice play by Eli Ricks. Didn't really have to like overextend himself. The ball kind of floated to him. It was I guess like a little Texas route to Saquon Barkley in the middle of the field. Jalen kind of floats it. There was some pressure. He floats it, but nice play by Eli Ricks, who that might have been his first team rep of the summer.
Yeah, I think it was
that
drive at least.
Yeah, so it was, that drive was only one play. Yeah. That was the first play, and he floats it.
And it was 2-minute red zone, right?
Yeah, 2-minute end of game. Yeah. So, and give credit to Eli Ricks after the catch because he turtled, stayed on the football because they get the win basically, the defense. And then the next, so I think it was supposed to be just one drive, but I guess Nick Sirianni wanted to give them another chance at it. So the first team went back out there and they still struggled. They had a little crosser to Jahan Dotson, but then the last play of practice was Jordan Davis beating Brett Toth, who got some reps for Landon Dickerson late in practice, pretty cleanly for a sack. And that was the end of practice.
Right. And I go back and forth because we are hearing so much. This has been such a big conversation. I feel like this year more than ever, the training camp reps, the stats, like don't pay too much attention to it. We're doing things on purpose. The defense is always going to look better than the offense. But I do think this exact same thing happened last year where it was a bit of a panic of how many pre-snap penalties the offense was taking, how they just looked out of sync. But you have to expect that once again with a new offensive coordinator, like now is the time to do this. But man, the defense is they've looked so much better every single day, it seems like. Yeah,
I think that the kind of weird thing this year is that the offense started off the first few days, and it's before the pads go on, so everything is taken with a major grain of salt, but the offense looked great the first 2-3 days.
No mistakes. Ball didn't hit the ground.
Yeah, Jalen looked incredible. The offense was in sync, and they were really smooth. And I don't think it's a complete coincidence that the struggles have started to begin a little bit with Devontae Smith not in the field. I think they're just really missing him because there are a lot of, we've kind of seen it. Quinyon Mitchell has been flipping sides of the field going with A.J. Brown. And typically that would mean Devontae Smith would have a really advantageous matchup. And it's not like they're really getting into the matchups in camp too much, but like
it's
without that,
one.
Yeah. I mean, without Devontae, it's just a different offense.
Yeah. I seen the crossing routes seem to be working, go into the tight end in the middle of the field. That works back to back today. Rolling out a lot to Saquon Barkley, check down to the running backs, which Barrett and I always joke. We were so excited about that last year. We saw that so much in camp. They were going to utilize the running backs in the passing game. This is a weapon that no one's seen before, and we never saw it in a game ever. And now they're doing it again.
My theory on that is that in practice where Jalen's not going to take off as much, he'll use that safety valve. But once it gets in the real games, and there's nothing there,
that plays him.
He's gonna take off and pick up a first down.
Yeah,
so I think
true.
A lot of that kind of naturally just gets pushed out of the offense.
Yeah, but they ran it all the time last year, and then I never saw it.
There've been so many summers.
I doubled down on it. I was like, you guys,
so many summers where you're like, this is the year they're going to throw to the backs, and it just you see it in camp, and then it doesn't show up.
You guys are going to like this. Wait till you see this.
I thought Keely Ringo had a good day.
He did.
And Adoree Jackson is still getting more first-team reps, but I think he leaves the last 2 days of practice starting to come on a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's good because I think ideally they want Keely Ringo to win this job.
It's clear as day.
And it's like
on a silver platter.
It's right
Take
there,
it.
man. Go take this job. He had one play today on Darius Cooper, undercuts the route, almost picks it off.
Mhm.
Cooper ended up making a nice play as like a DB to knock it down. But then later on, there was a play on the left side of the field to Johnny Wilson, and Keely Ringo was able to use his size and his length to knock that ball down. He's slowly starting to stack some days here, and I think that like this cornerback battle is far from over.
It is. And I think finally with Keely Ringo, you saw some enthusiasm after the plays, a little trash talk, a little chippiness. And I was like, good. We need to see that because we talk about it all the time. Like, Keely, you're given every opportunity here. You're the draft pick. You've been doing this a couple of off seasons. It hasn't gone your way. Like, this has to be the year that it goes your way and you win the starting job. And they're giving them so many opportunities to do so that I fear for Keely Ringo, if he doesn't win it this year, like, this is your chance. How many more chances can they give you to win this job?
Yeah. Nice day for Keely. Let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll wrap up observations and then talk about a bunch of different camp battles.
You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we've got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Eagles fans, be a part of Birds Takeover in Kansas City with NBC Sports Philadelphia and Philly sports trips. Includes optional airfare, hotel, an exclusive pep rally, all-inclusive tailgate, ticket to the game, and more. Book your Eagles ultimate fan experience today. All right, we're back on the Eagle Eye podcast brought to you by Nissan. Ruben Frank is not here. He's in Canton for Eric Allen's enshrinement in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So Ashlyn Sullivan is here with us today. Let's get back to some of the practice observations. The next thing on my list, Ashlyn, kind of an underrated one. I've been watching the backup running backs. Shunderick Powell, a name that most people are like, who? Had a heck of a run today.
He did.
Showed a lot of bursts.
Explosive.
Yeah, he's a little guy, 5'7", 183 pounds, but I was impressed.
Yes. After that run into the end zone, Saquon Barkley came all the way down the field to congratulate him, give him a high five, and you could tell he was just like, whoa, what just happened? But yeah, that was a burst that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, Central Arkansas, Shunderick Powell, but I've been impressed by some of these other running backs. Montreal Johnson from Florida. Go ahead, do a little. Yeah.
Let's
go. He's been really good. He got some first team reps today because A.J. Dillon was limited and didn't participate in team drills. I've been impressed by him, and now Shunderick Powell making a little name for himself.
Yeah, and truthfully, haven't seen a ton from Will Shipley. I thought it was interesting when we were talking to the running backs coach, how he was telling us not to exactly look at it as a battle for the backup position because they are such different body types. They're going to use A.J. Dillon and Will Shipley in different ways, but it's hard not to think about who is just going to frankly get more carries when Saquon Barkley isn't on the field. To me, it seems more like A.J. Dillon, but then Will Shipley, I feel like, is more of a plug and play back in that sense.
Yeah, I think he's probably a little more versatile.
Or like, you know what A.J. Dillon's doing with that body type.
Yeah, well, you know what, though? A.J. Dillon in his career has caught the ball out of the backfield way better than you'd expect for a guy who's like 250 pounds. I actually, there was a great Will Shipley play today. It was a Lance Dixon blitz, and Shipley picked it up beautifully. And it gave the quarterback plenty of time to get the ball out of the pocket. And that's something Shipley, you know, he's really tried to work at it. He's obviously, he's not huge. He's 205 pounds versus, you know, Saquon's 230, A.J. Dillon's 250. It's not going to be as natural for him, but it was a great blitz pickup. And I think that was, it's funny. I bet you he would tell you that's probably his favorite play of training camp so far.
Right, because it's going to go unnoticed, but that is what he's going to have to do to get on the field over someone like an A.J. Dillon who has a clear upside in that department.
I have some other like little odds and ends here I'll kind of go through real quick. I watched Nakobe Dean before practice. This is the second day in a row I've really tried to like watch his rehab workout. He's getting after it. I mean, he's running sprints. He's carrying the sled. Did some ladder work today. It looks pretty good. I mean, at least he's trending in the right direction. don't get too excited. I don't think he's, going to come off that pup anytime soon,
No.
but at least going the right way.
Yeah, I think he's more present. He was there in warmups. He was dancing with the guys, high five, and I really didn't see that much of training camp. He was always kind of off to the side on a different field and very much more with the team today, which is great news. But we have yet to see him do any type of football drill. So I don't know if it's too drastic to say, but I don't even think you're entertaining this until week 1. Like I don't really see the point as of right now to get him off the pup and to put him in training camp or preseason. This is going to be a bit.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like, if he's really not going to be ready for week 1, you can keep him on the pup and then put him on the reserve pup, and then you get that roster spot. Right. So if he really can't contribute until the middle of the season, there's no reason to take him off the pup.
Yeah, I think you're thinking realistically, the first month of the season without him, and then you're entertaining it.
I think that's probably about right.
Yeah, which stinks. It's very unfortunate for him.
And the most unfortunate thing, it's tough for, I don't know if he's thinking about this. He probably shouldn't, but he's going to get Wally pipped.
He is.
And
we all know it's happening.
Yeah, and it's through no fault of his own, but
we also knew he was going to get Wally pipped when they drafted Jihaad Campbell, before you even saw anything on the field.
True. I think there was the hope that, like, a lot of people were thinking Jihaad, maybe he's just more of an edge rusher, but he just looks so good at inside linebacker. And Nakobe's entering a contract year. So, yeah, for his sake, you hope he gets back on the field. They find a way to use him, and then maybe he gets a contract and goes somewhere else.
That's what I was just thinking.
For his sake.
You get some trade value for it, but he needs to get back on the field for that to happen.
Yeah, obviously the Eagles will, love to have him here forever, but he's a starting caliber player. We proved that last year.
Right. Well, and he's going to want starting caliber money. He's going to want a new contract. And if you have this surplus, why would Howie Roseman shell out this cap space for a guy where they have a very clear, cheaper player, Jihaad Campbell, for a couple of years on his rookie deal? Just, it doesn't make sense. But I remember draft night, I'd spoken to Nakobe Dean at the draft party. We were talking, doing an interview, and we posted that interview, and then Jihaad Campbell got drafted, and the comments were like, this ain't good. Yeah. This ain't good for our friend Nakobe. Yeah.
But he's been pretty upbeat.
He shouldn't think like that. You absolutely should not. But the writing is very clearly on the walls here.
I think so. I felt bad for Smile Mondin today, who's been having a really nice camp. Open field, Jalen Hurts just jukes him. And you're in a practice, you can't touch the quarterback anyway. And then Jalen pulls off this it kind of reminded me of his play against the Saints a few years ago. Just sticks a foot in the ground and cuts the other way. He's still got some wiggle to him.
Yeah, he really does. And that was a rookie moment for sure. For everybody, it was like, you hate to be that guy. But it's
I don't know how many linebackers are stopping him there.
Very true.
It was a good play for Jalen, because sometimes by the end of a season, he doesn't look as fast sometimes.
Agreed.
He looks
more hesitant.
Really fast there.
Well, he seems very sure of himself, more this year than anything. I know we're going to talk so much about it, and at times I think it's overplayed how his vocal leadership, and he's taking the next step. And I was like, yeah. Like, he's a quiet guy. We know that. But I have seen a drastic difference in the amount he's talking on the sidelines and the amount he's going to Kevin Patullo. It definitely seems this year way more than last season, when it was so drilled in our heads. He had to do that more.
I don't have much else here. Dallas Goedert had a rare drop today. Didn't look the ball all the way in.
Talked about it. So he's going to think about it. Yep.
But then he made another nice play later in practice, kind of skied over Tristan McCollum when it was 1s versus 2s. So wouldn't worry about Dallas Goedert. He's having a very good training camp.
He's going to be all right.
The play of the day was actually Cameron Latu, tight end. You probably don't even know. He kind of snuck behind Lance Dixon down the seam, and Tanner McKee threw a beautiful ball. It was a great play, but
the McKee train, it's alive and well.
And Elijah Cooks, our camp crush of our training camp darling. He had a chance for another huge play today and just dropped the football. It would have been a tough catch, but he's made those all of camp, and you kind of expected him to do it again.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
I saw him actually go up to Tanner McKee after practice and apologize.
Oh, really?
For dropping it. Yeah.
Dang.
It would have been a nice catch. He's been impressive so far.
He has been.
And he's outplaying Johnny Wilson.
I was just going to say, for a guy that we talked a lot about taking the next step behind Jahan Dotson, I've seen very, very limited reps with Johnny Wilson. I just we talk about writing down his number. I barely mentioned Johnny Wilson.
Yeah, he had a couple chances for a catch today and couldn't make one. Yeah, a little disappointed by a lot of the receivers after the top three.
Yes, I was standing behind the sidelines on Tuesday. Johnny Wilson went up for a contested catch, didn't get it. And Aaron Moore had he went at him. He was like, just about the aggressiveness of it, about fighting for something. And just, you can tell they want a little more from him.
He's 6'6", and he doesn't always play to that height.
Use your body to your advantage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so you're hoping to see a little bit more from him, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
I was very proud of my stupid observation of the day, and you were next to me at practice as I formulated this.
Can't wait to hear it.
Saquon and his shorts, which are not shorts.
Caprice.
They are sweatpants that he has cut off at the bottom, but they hang like
they're too low,
so far below his knee. I wrote that he looked like
it's bad luck.
an N1 mixtape basketball player.
Yeah.
It's like
it also just can't be comfortable.
It's from a different era. Like this is what football players used to look like in shorts. Mm-hmm. But now like
now you have the very short like Milata shorts going
7-inch inseam, right?
Yeah.
And Saquon's taking it old school. I like that.
I don't really love the look. It's got to be uncomfortable. And because of Saquon's body type, like they are truly to his calves. Like they look like Caprice.
It is very fun. Most players nowadays have they wear like almost compression shorts out there. Then Saquon's out there in like cut off sweatpants.
It's just it's hot out there.
It is hot.
Can't be comfy.
Yeah, but it's a mindset. So.
Sorry, Saquon. I hope you're not listening to this.
Let's take a little break again, and then camp battles. I want to kind of go through all of those on the other side. Mark your calendars. We're headed down the shore for a Phillies watch party. Join us in Sea Isle on August 12th to watch the Phillies face the Reds with raffles, special guests, and more. All right, Ashlyn, we have plenty of time here. I'm glad we do because, and by the way, we're going to save email questions for when Rube gets back. So many of those are directed to him anyway, so I don't want to shortchange anyone who emailed us. So we'll get to those next week. But let's just go through some battles, and I want your take on it, and then I'll give my take on some of those positions. Let's start with, where do you want to start? Cornerback?
The obvious one, yes.
Cornerback has been kind of the one we've talked about a ton. Gut feeling, after 6 days of practice, do you have one?
Yes, it's going to be Adoree Jackson, and I don't think Vic Fangio wants it to be Adoree Jackson. I think he is forcing his way into the starting position because Kelee Ringo is handing it over to him, and it frustrates me. Even with Kelee Ringo playing well today, Adoree Jackson is getting these first-team reps. It was so telling to me what Vic Fangio said in that press conference, that how he wanted him, how he signed him. I was like, Vic, please. The man has a family. We get it. He was not your first pick. And that makes me think, because if Vic doesn't trust a player very much so, he's not going to put him out there. But he's out there now. So I'm a little confused of how this situation's working out. Mm-hmm. But if I had to pick right now who's starting week 1, it's going to be Adoree Jackson. And that is crazy because Kelee Ringo, just take the job. Do it.
Yeah. Do you think there's a chance that they look somewhere for a corner?
If it was Kelee winning the job, no. But Adoree Jackson, and if one of them goes down, but then Eli Ricks, I think honestly, at this point,
if one of them goes down, I don't know if the separation between them is enough that would be the fear.
Yeah. Where you're like, oh man, Eli Ricks has to play this week. He's been here, he's done that, made some good plays in training camp. And that's unfortunate to say that the drop off between Kelee Ringo and Eli Ricks, I don't think is as drastic as people thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, either way, so whoever wins it between Adoree or Kelee, the other one's going to be the top backup. And I don't know if the drop-off is big enough. Now, the question is, not the question, it's obvious the drop-off from Quinyon Mitchell to whoever wins that other cornerback job.
You want to think about that.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Which means that second corner is going to see a ton of action.
Right.
They better be ready for a ton of footballs going their way, because if I'm an offense, I'm not really excited to throw to Quinyon, which is kind of why it makes sense to travel him, not just for the obvious reason that you want to get him on a top receiver, but some teams are going to get the ball to their top receiver no matter who's on him. So at least it would give him an opportunity to see the football come his way.
Right. It is very true. And when you think of it that way, how much the other cornerback is going to be exposed. And last year you didn't feel that way, because even when Quinyon, as the season got on, people were starting to figure him out and they weren't targeting him as much. You felt so confident that Slay at the least was going to be in the right place. Slay very rarely made a mental mistake. Mm-hmm. At times would just get burned or beat, and that was just the nature of the beast. But I would hesitate more right now with Kelee Ringo. Is he in the right spot over his athletic ability.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. I still think there's a good chance Keely can win this job. There's a long way to go.
Really good week here.
Yeah, I mean, we're still so early. It's not even August yet. So
you love how I write people off so quickly.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? Earlier in camp, like after what was it, day 4, I was thinking, man, Adori's really ahead. Then the last 2 days, I think he's made
up some ground.
He's bridged the gap a little bit, and it's not that like all of a sudden I think he's gonna just take control of the job, but it feels like a battle where there are going to be some ups and downs the rest of the way, and there's going to be a day where Adori shines, and there's going to be a day where Keely shines.
We'll change our mind a couple of times.
Yeah, this one feels like it's going to go for a while.
And I'm very curious how they divvy up preseason snaps, like who plays in what game. I think it's going to be interesting.
I mean, the thing is, like, Keely needs the snaps. I don't know if Adori, it's funny that Vic talks about, let's see if he can be he's never going to be a star player. I don't think. He's not going to go out there
and be Jalen Ramsey all of a sudden.
Yeah, he was a first-round pick a long time ago. He's 29 years old. So
the book has been written about, and I love when Vic mentioned that, like, he can rewrite a story. I'm like, we all know what his story is.
I don't think so. I found that strange because it's not like at 29 years old. He's even Howie Roseman in at the owners' meetings said something that kind of threw me off. He said he thinks Adoree Jackson's best football is ahead of him. It seems unlikely. Like, if you haven't done it at 29, not that he's been a bad player. He's been serviceable. He started games, but
or maybe this situation plays well to him that he is going to get a ton of targets with Quinyon floating and no one targeting him.
And I think this defense, like, schematically, could help him out a little bit more.
Teams will be forced to throw the football against them. Yeah.
I think my gut still tells me Keely.
I hope it is. Yeah. I want him to win it.
Okay.
How
about safety? Well, so we know Reed Blankenship is one of the starters. We've seen Cooper DeJean in the base package be the safety. They were rotating between Sidney Brown and Andrew Makuba. Now Makuba has missed a few practices with that shoulder injury.
Yeah, which is pretty brutal reps right now to lose for Andrew Makuba. But what I predict will happen is very similar to Quinyon Mitchell last year. Is Quinyon was kind of like riding the coattails at one point, and we didn't see a ton of him. And it's like, how are they going to use him? Then all of a sudden, when Quinyon got that first team rep, it was like, oh, he's never coming off the field. Makuba, from what I've seen, I think it's going to be similar to that, just with his draft pick status and his athletic ability. I think it's higher than Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown has worked his butt off for this job, and credit him to coming back from that rehab. But when I look at Sidney, I see a depth piece, and I wish it wasn't that way, but I don't look at Sidney and feel confident saying he's going to be a starting safety 3 seasons from now. I've never seen it with him, which maybe is unfair because we haven't seen him in a lot of game action.
Yeah. I don't know if he's a great fit in this scheme.
Yeah.
And I think Vic feels the same way.
Yeah.
And as many snaps as he's gotten this summer, have you seen, like, I don't know if I've written 21 down. He hasn't messed up,
and he's not getting a lot of targets, so maybe that speaks to it, but I haven't seen him be a ball hawk in any sense either.
Yeah. And I think with a player like Sidney, he's so good, or he could be really good at the line of scrimmage. I don't love him in the post. No. I don't know how versatile he is to do those
I think
things.
He's a great special teams player, like runs with his hair on fire, like great for that role, but I don't feel confident saying he's going to be a capable starting safety for a long time now.
Can we talk about the surprise third door here that, I've started to think about it a little bit. We've seen Cooper DeJean in the base package at safety.
A lot.
We've seen the rookie Mac McWilliams have a pretty good start to training camp. As of right now, I don't think it's a likely outcome. I'm not saying I would do this before people start yelling at me. Is there a world where Cooper DeJean plays safety this year and Mac McWilliams is the nickel?
No.
World?
You can't do it.
Why not?
You're weakening your position. You're weakening your defense. Like, Cooper is so good in the slot.
I think he could be really good at the safety.
I do too. Well, I think I feel like in OTAs, we started seeing Cooper in base, and we started getting really excited. And everyone was like, wow, this is going to happen. And I feel like they very much put their hands up and said, wait, we're only in base for so much. Don't get excited about this. We all remember Vic saying that statistically, how much they were in base. If they're only going to be in base that much, why are we seeing it so much in training camp?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're working situations,
Mhm.
but
Like way
Yeah.
more than I expected.
yeah, it's a lot. And it's the emergence of Mac McWilliams, and it's early. It's like we'll
It's
see
not
if
your
he,
word. It makes sense.
it's like starting to enter my thought process a little bit. I still think it's unlikely, but
I mean, it's a great option.
is
to
there a
have.
chance he's one of their 5 best defensive backs by the start of the season?
Wow. No, but I think he can be.
Okay. And I think a lot of the conversation depends on when Makuba is
Comes
ready
back.
to come back. Like if he's
You
back,
need Makuba to be one of your 5 best defensive backs.
ideally, yeah. And if he's not, it might be
Then we're entertaining this more
yeah. It might be
thoroughly.
because he just misses enough time that Vic doesn't feel comfortable
Mhm.
putting on the
Yeah,
field, which is
then I
what
can see
happened
it.
with Cooper last year.
And then because of that, are you forcing yourself to be in base more because of your personnel possibly?
I don't think so.
No.
No. So that's the one thing that was great about Cooper last year when he became the nickel was that they could live in nickel more because of what he was able to do.
Able to do.
You know, like the teams weren't able to force them out of nickel.
Mhm.
Whereas like a lot of teams will go, they'll go heavy to try to force you out of nickel because they want to get Cooper off the field. But the Eagles were pretty comfortable because he's so good in the middle of the field at like he's a good tackler.
Mhm.
He plays the run tough. So
CC Derrick Henry's tackle. Yes.
yeah. So like I think teams were hoping they'd be able to
We're gonna
like-
expose him.
or not expose him, get him off the field. Like teams were trying to like run big personnel packages, thinking the Eagles would go to their base and get him off the field. And they were like, no, we can stop the run in nickel because of this guy.
Right.
It was very different than Avonte Maddox, who played tough but wasn't as good
Yeah.
and stout as Cooper against
Big
the run.
difference.
So from like, yeah, I think he can do a lot of what he did at nickel at safety if they have to open that trap door.
Your argument is very sound,
Yeah.
and just understanding Vic Fangio and what he's told us and how much he relies on trusting a player. If Makuba cannot come back, that is your best option. Is
Or at
bumping
least
Cooper to safety.
one option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I cannot see Fangio just handing the keys over to Sidney Brown. I can't see it.
It'll be fascinating to see when Makuba is back and how much they like. If he comes back at a certain point, you want to like just run him with the first team and let's see what he can do.
Yeah. I agree. And as if he's a liability, like we don't know where
Mhm.
his mental matchup is right now, understanding the scheme. Like there are a lot of questions right now. This is a pretty brutal blow. And I know it's only week 1 in a training camp, but these were reps he desperately needed right now.
Linebacker we can talk about, but I think we all kind of see the situation. It's Trotter is playing great, but the upside is clearly with Jihaad Campbell.
Yes. Well, it's, I think, even more interesting. We talked about this in our TV segment. What happens when Nakobe comes back?
Mhm.
I don't think he's going to get on the field, frankly. I think he will as a backup, but I think your days in Nakobe Dean being a starting linebacker on this team. And this is wild. I know I'm being dramatic. Week 1 in a training camp. I've seen enough that Jihaad Campbell has to be it.
Yeah, and I get that. I think there's a really good chance him and Zach Bond just are a great duo. Just trying to think about, those two body types in the middle of a football field.
Crazy.
Not a lot of green, right? Like
No.
if you're a quarterback trying to throw in the middle of the field against those two
Good
guys is going to be really
luck.
tough.
Yeah.
Whereas there was a play earlier in camp where Trot had perfect coverage down the field, but the ball still got over his head. And you're thinking like, maybe Campbell doesn't have the instincts down yet. Maybe he hasn't seen enough, but if he's in a similar situation, he probably gets a hand on that ball.
Mhm. Yeah. And even just the amount that I've seen Vic Fangio bumping back the linebackers in one-on-one coverage on tight ends, which you don't see. They have to be so athletic to be able to succeed at that. And even seeing, it spoke volumes to me that they trusted Trotter in that situation. Like you can tell Fangio trusts Trotter. He's a smart football player. He's in the right places at the right time. He just doesn't have a Jihaad Campbell body.
Yeah. Or the athleticism.
Yeah.
It's next level with Campbell. But the depth at that position is pretty impressive.
Unheard of here. Yeah.
Yeah. Smile Mondin having
Another
a really
good
good camp.
Yeah,
like I
another
think
good
he can
player.
play a little bit.
Yeah. He was talking today how he only has a certain number of questions a day that he can ask Nakobe Dean because he doesn't want to annoy him. And he did the same thing at Georgia, which is like, that meeting room's got to be awesome. Even with, and with just the competition in it.
Nakobe's going to make a heck of a coach one day.
Yeah, he will. Very positive.
If he wants to.
Yeah.
Other battles, I don't know if there's, edge rusher, I guess, is a battle. we know the top two are Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt.
Mhm.
Anyone standing out to you for that third spot?
He mentioned Aziz Ojulari. I've barely seen
It's
anything.
been quiet.
Yeah, I think, but you need one of those free agent veteran presences to contribute.
Josh Uche is the one who's popped more to me.
He's definitely, I think, having a better camp, but that needs to carry on in the season. Like one of those two has to hit for this committee to work.
I agree with you because they need a third guy to eat up some snaps. We've seen at times they'll put like Mo Ojima outside and let him rush. That's not going to be a big thing for this team. They did a little bit today. They had Jalix Hunt inside. They had a DT outside. So they're playing around with that. Like Jim Schwartz has called like the NASCAR package. Get your little fast guys out there. They have that optionality, but yeah, they need one of those guys to just be the third edge rusher. I know people are excited about Antoine Powell-Ryland, who was really productive in college. Haven't seen a ton from him so far.
Haven't noticed him barely at all.
Yeah. On offense, there aren't a ton of jobs up. I guess the right guard one is a sneaky battle. Ruben and I talked about this the other day. I said it's one of those position battles where it's below the surface because Tyler Steen is getting every single first team rep, but you got to pay attention to what's happening behind him. And we've seen some different players, whether it's, Matt Pryor or Darian Kennard, get some reps at guard. We saw Kenyon Green, even though it was left guard, get some second team reps today. Do you think there's a chance that it's not Tyler Steen?
No, I think I frankly have stopped paying attention to the battle
Okay.
because I feel like if there was even a hesitation, it wasn't Tyler Steen, they would have mixed in some more options by now. They would have given someone else an opportunity.
Perhaps. I wonder how long it would have taken last year, though, if Steen didn't get hurt, or if it would have happened at all.
Like, you think if Steen didn't get hurt, he was the clear-cut starter?
Well, I mean, he got hurt in day 3 last year.
Yeah.
And it was just a rolled ankle, but he had taken every single rep in the spring and through the injury on day 3 before. And actually, Becton didn't replace him on day 3. It was day 4 of training camp last year. They came out with Mekhi Becton as the right guard, and he just never left.
Right. I remember us talking about this, like, all right, it's just a rolled ankle. Like, what do you mean he's not coming back and going back in? It was almost like they needed an excuse for this to happen.
Even if it wasn't an excuse, it was like very opportunistically excited to get Becton in.
You're in. Yeah.
So
you're not coming out.
I wonder what would have happened last year. It's one of those what ifs. We don't know the answer. No one could ever know the answer.
It didn't seem like an injury that was going to impact his starting job.
No.
We thought, he'll be out a week and he'll go right back in. And then he never went back in.
But what do you think happens if he never got hurt? Do you think eventually it ends up being Becton?
Yeah, I still think Becton would have outshined his reps. But he was getting such limited reps at first team.
And he was like playing tackle.
Mm-hmm.
He actually played a little bit of left guard early in camp because Landon Dickerson missed a day or two
with the slip and slide incident.
Yeah, so he ended up. Well, I think he said it wasn't a slip and slide. I don't want Landon to yell at us. Big, scary, 330-pound guy. I don't want him mad at me.
It was not a slip and slide.
But they got Mekhi. So it's like a butterfly effect a little bit, right? It's like Landon might have never been hurt, right? And then he gets hurt.
It was meant to be.
And then Becton gets some reps, and then Steen goes down. Then just slide Becton in there.
Becton's the real winner in this. He's a very rich man because of these injuries.
Yeah. 2 years, 20 mil is not bad.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You're probably right. Steen is the guy. I think he's going to be the starter, but I also think there have been some shaky moments through 6 days for Tyler Steen.
Have you? See, I haven't noticed him being a liability in the slightest.
Yeah. So
is he the weakest link? Yes, but look at that offensive line.
He's clearly the weakest link. It's about not being a liability, and a lot of those Moro Ojima pressures have come against Tyler Steen.
Yeah.
So,
they're picking on him. It's clear.
Yeah. And it's like Mo's good, but it's also one of those situations where it's sometimes tough to figure out how good is Ojima versus is Steen. Yeah. Like it's and that those happen in training camp all the time because
there's always a loser in a rep.
And you don't really know until you face in a joint practice or in a game.
That joint practice will be very telling against the Browns.
Exactly. The 56 will be the guy I'll be watching in those joint practices.
I have a feeling, yes.
I only have one other camp battle I want to ask you about, and it's one that people might not care about. Third quarterback.
I love a good quarterback.
In the spring, I think Rube and I just declared Kyle McCord the winner of that job.
On paper.
The veteran Dorian Thompson-Robinson's outplayed him.
By a mile, by a long shot. Yeah, to the point where we entertained this thought. I know we were talking to you about it on the field, my other producers. Tanner McKee, I'm so sold that I get he's going to be such a serviceable backup. I've seen enough from Tanner McKee that he can be a starter in this league for a team that has a quarterback competition. Like, you could tell me right now, Tanner McKee's flying to Miami, and I think he's battling for Tua's job.
Okay.
I think he has great trade value to the point where if Dorian Thompson can fulfill that backup role, but right now I don't think they trust either of them to be comfortable as a backup quarterback right now.
Yeah, I don't think at all.
We haven't seen enough of them, but
yeah, I don't know if
McCord
there's anything DTR could do this summer that they would feel comfortable going into a season with him as a backup.
Yeah, but McCord is, because it made all the sense in the world on paper. You use a draft pick on him. He can learn from Jalen. He's in the system. He is by far the fourth. Like,
I think so. It's, rookie quarterback. It might take some time. I still think he's made some good plays, but I've been impressed by DTR. He
has more playmaking ability than I thought he did.
He has more playmaking ability. His arm is stronger than I thought it was.
Like, he's just a gamer. Whereas McCord, I can tell, is just a little hesitant.
Yeah, and he'll probably get that out of his system. With that said, I still think there's a better chance McCord ends up on the 53.
Yeah.
If they keep 3.
They want him. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to expose them to waivers, and they can probably get Thompson Robinson through to the practice squad.
Right.
But it is fun. It's fun to talk about and honestly,
third string quarterback.
They have 4 quarterbacks in camp that are better than some years I've covered. The backup. Yeah, they're in a good position right now.
They are. They have a surplus of a couple of positions with linebacker, with quarterback, where they're going to earn their money of who's going to make this 53 more so this year than last year, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, it's funny too. Like the roster is pretty top heavy because they have all these great players.
Right. There's not enough spots.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Any other thoughts from training camp you want to unload here?
I'm very happy we touched on Saquon shorts because that needed to be
Yeah,
addressed.
we probably should have led the show with that.
That should have been top line. Yeah. Other than that, I have no fashion droughts as of now.
Okay.
But I'll let you know if any more come up.
Our shirts are holding up. Our polos.
They are. I was a bit sweaty today. They're thick. Yeah.
They are a little thick.
I've also
I wear the
learned the
black
hard way.
because I figure I won't sweat through it.
Don't wear the light colors. It was not pretty out there today.
Yeah. So that's like it's actually like a daily struggle because the light colors, you feel cooler.
They're pretty.
It shows.
In theory.
Yeah. So the black is like I'm absorbing the heat, but I'm not showing it as much.
I'm very happy, says the Florida girl. I have wine more than anyone. I'm happy this heat wave camp style is over, I hope.
Yeah, Friday looks
I'm
cool.
hearing next week's gonna be better.
All right. Well, thank you, Ashlyn, for joining us. Like I said, Rube will be back. I think Sunday he'll be back. Hopefully, if his flight is on time, we'll hear all about the Hall of Fame. If you enjoy the Eagle Eye Podcast, please do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the like button and subscribe there as well. For Ashlyn Sullivan, I'm Dave Zangaro. This has been Eagle Eye, presented by Nissan. We'll talk to you soon.